Hey everyone, this is John from RELICS, and we've got kind of a head scratcher today. It is a very interesting story. It's about a seller or buyer behaving badly. This person both buys and sells, and a person had bought an item from another seller, and this seller was wanting everyone to block this buyer because of the interaction that they had, and it's pretty interesting. I don't know where I stand on it. I kind of see there being issues both ways. I don't think necessarily that the person that they want me to block as another fellow reseller, I don't really think that they're really in the wrong. So I don't know. We're just going to jump right into this video, and we're going to let you guys decide for yourselves. We're going to switch screens over here, and they say block Chevy Collector 55. It says, this person from the start was pestering me about shipping faster than my 2-day turnaround and just gave me a feeling from the start that this wasn't going to go well. I should have listened to that feeling. They then posted that I have damaged items, which I did not, and the photos he showed me were not my items. I offered a refund, but he said he was selling them and had posted them. I wanted the full set returned and not a partial. I do put an invisible ink dot on my items to verify that they are mine and not switched out, as then posted negative feedback for me with heavily redacted messages making him look like the victim. It says he then posted negative feedbacks. He then found my email and sent 4 so far threatening emails. I contacted eBay, but they won't do anything and said I need to take it up with him. He apparently has a history of threatening people, and eBay won't do anything. So we are going to flip over here to the next section here, and this is the interaction between the buyer and the seller. And the first comment is from the buyer. It says, please ship as soon as you can. Thank you, Christy. And then she says, I have a 2-day shipping policy and will get them out as soon as I can. Thank you. And then the buyer replies, I saw your policy is why I asked as soon as you can. Thank you again. And that was sent at 3:16 p.m. on the December 3rd. So on December 15th, it shows here, let's see, let's flip back over here. On December 15th, he sends another message. I was seeing if the whole message was on the next page. It says, hi, you have listed these ornaments as new. They're not new, and many still have the hooks on them. So some have scratches on the top where the hooks were put on and have been taken off. Then many times 2 battery ornaments do not work. And he goes on to say, one, the flag on the mailbox is broken, and that turns it on and off. The largest one, the battery box, has acid all inside. Where the batteries leaked, where the batteries leaked inside it. I'm not going to knock anyone for spelling because I'm kind of dumb myself. Both of them read on the bottom on a piece of tape for display. Now, I bought these all new, and they're not, and the large one will have to go to the hobby shop to see if they can somehow get the battery box cleaned out so it may work, so he can sell it, so I can sell it to get some of my money back that I overpaid because of your listing them as new. I'm not happy about you being dishonest and your listing one bit because you have checked these ornaments but listed them as new. You have never checked these ornaments and listed them as new. Now, how are you going to make this right? And the person replies and says, you can return all of them. And once I receive all of them in the condition they were sent, which was new, I will start a refund. And the person automatically, now this is where I have a little bit of a problem with the seller of the items complaining to the buyer. It says, and if you try to switch them out, they are marked. And I mean, I guess you should probably, you could give your hand up at this point here. You could give your hand up at this point and be like, yeah, I have marked them. But in the long run, eBay doesn't give a flying crap about any mark that you put on an item. They aren't going to care. They are all you're going to, I mean, I guess you could tell them that, but you're kind of accusing them of like trying to steal from you. And I could see where this is really going to go south really quick. The person's going to get defensive and they're going to not be happy. Okay, so let's switch back over here. It says, I don't have the time for your games. I listed most of them as used already. As I got down to the battery ones, I found a screwdriver that would fit the battery boxes to open to replace the batteries, but found the flag was on and switched on that one. The large one, when I opened the batteries, were at a massive asset. I don't have to play games with you because you are a liar. See, he's getting defensive. You may not have anything else to do, but we do, and if you would have told any of this in your listing, I would not have bought them. Tell you what, I will take the loss because I listed most of them as used. All is fine. I got your answer, and I did ask you. LOL, you're not only a liar, you're stupid. Don't bother me again. And then the person replies back and says, if you're unhappy, return them, which is appropriate. And then finally she messages him back and calls him a scammer, which I'm going to say probably isn't the most appropriate thing. If you look over here at the feedback, this is apparently the feedback that the person has left for other people or have gotten themselves. I'm not exactly sure. She wasn't very clear on it, but the person had gotten like 3 neutrals and 2 negatives, and it really wasn't that bad. If we click over here and we look at their store, we're going to look at Chevy Collector 5513 store, and they have 7,120 items listed. They sell a lot of ornaments. So you can see here that there's a lot of that kind of stuff here listed. They sell a ton of stuff. If we look at their feedback, they've got a 99.8% positive feedback rating, which is pretty good. They've sold 50,000 items. This year they've got 1,126 items sold, so that's pretty darn good. That's pushing a little over 100 items a month. And over the past 15 or 12 months, they've got 15,551 or 1,551 feedback. So they're selling a ton of stuff. That's pretty good. That's getting over what? That's getting what, 120 feedback maybe a month. I don't know. I'm not good at math, but that's pretty darn good. But if you look at the feedback that they left for others, it's kind of a tell how I can measure whether or not they're if they're a problem. And look, there's all of these positives. They haven't left a bunch of negative feedbacks for people. Now, when you get down here a little bit, there is a negative feedback here, and this is the lady that I'm guessing that the person that they bought the items from and said that there was acid in the ornaments and blah 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 and yada yada yada, and just a flippin' nurse. And let's look at her feedback and see how much she sells. So she has sold, it looks like 106. She's got 106 feedback in 12 months. 2 negative, no neutrals, 26 this month, and so here's I thought I'd seen a neutral there, but I was like, I didn't show up top. So, I don't know. I'm not really sure how this goes, but I know that when you look over here, if you scroll down further, that this person does have a bunch of negative feedbacks that they've left for people, but mainly they're a lunchbox buyer, and apparently they're really particular about the condition of the handle on the lunchbox. So they sell all kinds of stuff. Apparently they're buying stuff off eBay so that they can turn around and flip it on eBay, resell it, make a little bit more money, buying lots and stuff. So I'm kind of at a loss here. Who do you think is the butthole in this situation? Do you think it's the buyer? Do you think it's the seller? Do you think that perhaps this is an instance to where we really do have a bad seller and the buyer's probably not too bad. I can tell you that 50,000 items sold, they're getting over 100 feedback a month. They're with a 99.8% feedback ratio. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. They might be a little bit picky, and they might want to be very particular about the items that they buy. And that's because they're trying to sell these items. And this could be an instance of a buyer that's trying to buy stuff off eBay to resell on eBay, and they're hoping that it comes in a little bit better condition. So I don't know. What do you guys think? I thought this was a little bit of an interesting video to make because it's an instance to where we don't know who the villain is here. I'm kind of leaning towards maybe it's the person that sold the items. Maybe they weren't in the good condition that they thought they were. I just sold a gun on a Nerf gun on Bonanza, and the person got it and the battery compartment was corroded. I honestly didn't even know there were batteries in a Nerf gun. I didn't know that was a thing. So that's on me. I'm going to refund them and give them their money and tell them Merry Christmas. And speaking of which, I'm going to tell you guys Merry Christmas, but there will be no refunds incoming because I don't think any of you have bought anything from me. So you guys have a good evening. Hope you have a good Christmas and a Happy New Year. God bless you guys. What do you think? Let me know down below.